All right, going to check out this Barrage 2.5 to 10 scope with laser from Firefield today. There's a little image of what the reticle looks like, and I'll try to get through the scope images for you guys at a later point in this video. As you can see there, it's calibrated to work 55 grain 223 out to 500 yards. And in my experience, it doesn't matter really whether you use 223 or 556. It's going to be really close no matter which one you use. I mean, you're only talking like, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches difference clear out at 500 yards between one to the next. Kind of the same thing with 55 grain and 62 grain bullets. They both shoot about the same. So we got IPX4, waterproof, fog-proof, shockproof. As I said, got the little built-in laser. I'll pop it out here and show you. And you got red or green illuminated reticle there, which you can, just run it black like that, or do red or green, different brightness settings. I'll try to capture that on film for you guys as well. Got your little cameo cloth. Looks like a product information guide. A little wrench there. And there she is there. So I requested this because I thought it looked kind of cool with the slash cut and all that, and it's kind of short and compact, and there's a few out there that look similar but not quite exactly like this, so I thought this would be a good look up on an AR, so I really wanted to check it out. So we'll try the scope caps out here. 1/2 inch click like an LPVO. Pretty audible. Let's see if we can get the cap back on, no issues. Hold up. I always like to go back because these threads are so tiny. It doesn't matter what scope it is. Try to go backwards first until I feel it click in. There we go. So not too bad on the caps there. I know some people complain about how easy it is to get those on and off. It doesn't really bother me. You got a rear diopter here so you can focus it for your own personal eyesight. There's your dial there. Wow, all this is real easy to turn. A lot of times I get new scopes and everything's super stiff. These are super easy to turn right out of the box. Okay, let's see here. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about that. Hey, that's pretty cool. So it looks like, yeah, range times 100 yards. That's awesome. I actually didn't know that about this. Once you zero it, so I'm assuming you got to take this cap off for the elevation adjustments. Yep, so down in there. Super audible clicks and forced feedback. Once you have it zeroed for 100 yards, that's pretty cool. Well, I guess they would have to do that, sort of, with the mil dot reticle, because it doesn't have BDC marks like a traditional LPVO would. It gives you a mark for each distance for 200, 300, 400 yards where your bullet's going to hit roughly. This is just a standard mil dot reticle. So you would kind of coincide with those dots, which one you need for how far, but a standard mil dot, it's not calibrated for anything specifically. It's just you pick the best one that works for whatever range you're shooting. But this actually has 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500 yard settings for once you zero it, so that's pretty neat. So you get it zeroed for 100 yards, which is what we're going to do. You return it to 2 for 200, 300, 400, and then 500. So that's pretty awesome. We're going to try that out. And so here's your mount there. No messing with traditional scope rings. You just got this little red dot type mount almost here, but it works because this thing's so compact. And then obviously here's your illumination. And again, I'll try to get that on camera for you guys. One side is red, the other side's green. Test the daytime brightness, and then of course under the cap there is going to be where your battery goes. And then here's the laser, simple on off from the back. So you can see it there, broad daylight. I'll do some testing with it at night. That's the whole point behind a laser, is you use them at night, but we can even see it decent in the day there, so that's good. But I mean, I think that about covers it for what I want to cover. Neat little scope there. So next we'll cut down to the rifle range, or however mounted up. You can check her out up on the rifle and get it zeroed and start taking some shots with it, shoot some grips with it, and do some long range shooting as well. Test out those different marks they have. All right, there she is mounted up on my 16-inch Anderson. So As I said, kind of gives it a little unique look that you don't see really. I think it's sized pretty well for a 16-inch like mine. And yes, I know it looks wonky with the front sight there. I do see it a little bit. On 1X, the scope's coming right back off after the review. I do this all the time. The sight never gives me a issue there. So yes, I know that's not ideal, but it's just for the video, and she's coming back off there. And once I go higher magnification, I can't even see that anyways. I don't know how to explain the scientifics, but it's like it looks past it like it's not even there. But I do see it on low magnification, but we won't be using low magnification anyways. Going to start out here at 25 yards, just see if we're on paper, make necessary adjustments. And then I'll take her down there and get her zeroed for 100 yards. That way you can use those 200, 300, 400 yard marks, etc. Step it all the way out there and make sure she's calibrated properly. I'm using PMC 223 bronze right there. So again, whether you're using 223, 556, or using a 55 grain or 62 grain, it's going to be real close either way. So, and I just wanted to show you guys in the shade here, and I will show you at dark. I believe I just showed you guys full sun. So we're still full sun, but we're in the shade back here. And it doesn't even show up. It looks pink on camera and kind of like light. I look above the camera and it's like super bright red. So again, you know, the whole laser thing, they're for dark. And we saw it out there in full sun, no problem. Back here in the shade, super easy. So decent laser. But let's work on getting this thing zeroed. Alright, so we're about 3 inches low there, pretty well centered. It might be a hair off to the right, but give her a few clicks up and check her again, and then we'll move down to 100 yards to finalize the zero. Well, I thought I was recording, and we took one there, and you can see it's high now, just aiming dead center there, obviously. So I got to bring her back down some. That's two stacked on top of each other, so it's pretty good. We'll take her down to 100 and get it finalized. All right, got her out at 100 yards now. And I'm just going to start out on that dot on the bottom. And just ignore those extra holes off to the right there. I'm filming multiple videos at the same time, so we're going for that bottom dot. Alright, I think the first shot went right in the middle somewhere, which is why we couldn't see it. And then you can see that second shot just to the right of the bullseye there. So we are way high at 100. Same thing just happened to me with another scope. Went from 25 to 100 out there. That's why you got to zero it for the actual distance. So we got to bring her down a bit there. Alright, there we go. That's more like it. Pretty much the right level. We just got to bring it to the left some now, so go ahead and do that. Alright, I couldn't see every one of those down there. I mean, it looks like some of them are hovering the dot and some of them are a little low there. I mean, this is a completely stock Anderson with a mil-spec trigger, and it's not free-floated. So to shoot 2.5 inches down there with generic ammo, that's pretty, you know, pretty run-of-the-mill there. I think it'd be a little easier if we shoot that dot either on the left there or the top. Let's go for the one on the top. All right, yeah, we're good. There's 3 all around the top there. I mean, it's just barely missing that dot, and it's not even a 1-inch dot. That's a 3/4 inch dot down there. So those 3 shots actually not bad. Probably about 1.5 inches there at most. So we're 0 for 100. So let's go ahead and the remaining shots here, go ahead and swing out to that 16-inch gong I just put out there. 200 yards. We'll smack that around real quick, and then we'll move her out further. Get you zoomed in for a few here, but she's right on the money. You should still see it swinging. And wobbling a little bit, it kind of stabilized, but we'll get you zoomed in for a few here. I think I got at least 2 shots left in that mag there. Grabbing the 100-yard target here on the way down to move the gong out further. Just wanted to see kind of where we were hitting here. So, like I said, I was just kind of grouping all over the place here, but I choked up on the rifle a little better for these 3 here, and say 1, 2, 3. So it might be a hair low, maybe a hair right. We do have a little bit of breeze out here today that could be influencing that some too, but it's pretty good there. I think I'm going to give it 1 click up just to be safe, to kind of shift that average a little higher there. All right, got her out 400 now. There she is. So we'll try out this doohickey here. So it's set for 100, 200, 300, and 400. And we'll see how it goes. Yep, see, there's the gong. So anyways, I'll take a few zoomed out and then we'll get you guys zoomed in. Other than being just slightly right, because we do have a slight breeze to the right, causing the bullet to drift, dead center. Wow. I'm not sure, but I think that one hit the exact same spot. It was definitely a hit. And yeah, it's just slightly right, like 1 inch or 2, because we do have a slight breeze here today blowing to the right, which little old 223, it will move it out there. So, and yeah, it's freshly painted, so about center there, but like 2 inches off to the right. I think you guys can see it, especially after I edit it for you, get better focus and whatnot than what I'm seeing here. And I'm pretty sure the second shot hit the same spot. Now don't count on that happening again. Honestly, the accuracy capabilities of this rifle and that ammo is just going to be kind of plastered all over. But heck of a start there. So those little clicker upper doohickeys there definitely work, because it put it right on the money there at 400. But I'll take a couple more zoomed in for you guys, but I probably cannot keep up that accuracy. I left this in here so you could see the wind, which does not play kindly with 223. I pulled that shot. That one was my fault. So obviously with that pace there, wasn't going for optimal accuracy, and as you can see, like I said, it would kind of just plaster them all over the plate there, because that's just the extent of the accuracy of my rifle with that ammo. So Other than that, it seemed like all the misses were off to the right due to that wind blowing off to the right, like I said. So that 400-yard mark there works perfectly. But yeah, there you have it. So I don't have any complaints. She works as intended. Awesome that these actually line up like they're supposed to and advertised to do. You know, the laser's pretty decent laser, as I said there. I'm not going to worry about it in this video, but some of you guys might have been wondering, those little keyways there is how you would adjust the laser to get it lined up with your center crosshair there to use it as a point of aim reference. And it's actually very close. I think it was just a smidge higher above my reticle there. I had to point it at something dark out here and it was like just barely above. So it's really, really close, just hanging off to the side there. At least mine is. But you can adjust the laser, move it left, right, up, down, and whatnot. And here in a second, I'll show you guys the laser at night as well. But I mean, we already displayed. You can see it, you know, broad daylight. That's not what a laser's for, but and then in the shadow, you can see it super good. And at night, it's just going to be insanely bright. But we'll do a little test, see how far out it'll reach. All right, I'm standing out back here, and I'm going to show you the laser in just a second. But I noticed, there you can see it there, obviously. So I went back here, about 100 yards, and it was kind of hard to see. So I tried switching the batteries around inside of there. It's got two itty-bitty little teeny tiny batteries, and I switched them in the opposite order, and it got even more dim, probably half the brightness that it was. So basically what that means is at least one of those batteries is basically pretty much dead or close to it, and so the second battery is probably not 100% as well. So this thing definitely needs some fresh batteries, and I would have popped some in there to show you guys, but I don't have any currently in this size. So but with that, needing batteries back there on the trees there, you can see it. I mean, that's around 100 yards back there, and I mean, it depends on like what leaf it hits and which direction, but that's about as far as I can see it. So but like I said, I switched the batteries around and it got even worse, so that means at least one of those batteries is pretty much dead. So with a fresh set, both batteries, it'd be a lot brighter than that. So if I had to guess, it'd probably be good for at least 200 yards then, but it's hard to tell without fresh batteries in it. But yeah, interesting little look there. I think, you know, on the right rifle, it looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty decent up on my rifle there. So, you know, like I said, it's something a little different there. I think their whole reticle system and, you know, the BDC thing being up here instead of having BDC marks is kind of cool, that you have a mil dot there. If you don't want to, you know, use this, you can just use the mil dots for quick reference on a quick shot without having to click this thing. But if you want to use that, it's pretty freaking close, as you guys just saw there. Like I said, she's crystal clear out there for me. The illumination is pretty bright. You know, bright sun against backgrounds like this, you know, you're not going to see it real great. A lot of people don't understand that. That's not what it's for. It's for aiming in the dark, like in the shadow over here against a dark target, like say a black bear or something like that. You know, your crosshairs are black, you hit that illumination and it'll just light them up. It's not meant for lighting up super bright stuff out here in the full sun like that. So I'm happy with the power that the magnification has on green and red there. So here's on the minimum magnification of 2.5x, and these are pretty crappy photos. It's just the best I could manage through the camera, so it looks much better in person, much more clear and crisp. Also, you don't see as much as that black ring around the glass there, that you can actually see the range out there. It's probably about half that. It's just where I had to hold the camera to get my camera to be able to focus halfway decent to get these images for you guys. So the big black ring that you see around the image there is probably half of that when you're actually looking through it with your actual eye. It's also really hard to see the little mil dot reticles, again, because I could not get my camera to focus 100%. But anyways, there's a little target down there, headshot size target at 100 yards on minimum magnification of 2.5x. And then there's what it looks like on the 10x magnification. And everything looks larger and closer in person, but because of where I had to hold the camera here to get, again, decently clear images for you guys, it makes it look further away than it does to me when I'm looking through it. Because again, once you get your face close enough to where
The image actually fills most of that scope tube instead of leaving that huge big black tire looking thing around it like what it looks like through the camera, because of where I had to hold the camera to get those images. As you get closer and it fills the tube, the image grows in size inside of the scope. Now we're looking down here at 400 yards, minimum magnification 2.5x, and then 400 yards on the 10x. So here's broad daylight with the reticle illuminated in green. Yes, it's on the highest setting. Again, this is not intended for really broad daylight like this. This is for like when the sun's lower, or you know, you're in the woods where it's darker and shooting in the shades and stuff like that against a dark colored animal. You can flip that illumination on and then you can see your crosshairs against that dark colored animal. So to me, it never really matters that it's somewhat difficult to see in broad daylight like that, but you can see here, you can actually see it. So even in full sun, if a black bear walked out there, you would be able to see that green or red against him. But again, ideally, this is suited for low light conditions. And here it is on the lowest setting inside the house. Once I'm actually pointed at something dark there, and obviously it'd be in the shade considering I'm inside the house, and this is actually the lowest setting, and you can see how bright it is there. So all the way up it would be blinding at night. So it's got plenty of illumination for the actual intended purpose of those illuminated reticles.
Like I said, crystal clear for me, for my eyes, but a lot of people forget that's what your diopter here is for. So if it's not crystal clear for you, just turn your diopter and you get it set for your eyes. Like I said, true to magnification, 2.5 seems like 2.5 to me. 10 seems like 10 to me. I mean, it's at least a 9 power, so I don't have any problem seeing out there 400 plus yards with it. You know, more magnification is always nicer, but seems pretty true to magnification. Like I said, the only real complaint I had was, you know, the eye box is a little small on it, if I didn't already mention that. But the thing that got me the most was how close you had to get to it. So your eye relief there, not very much. So would not use it. I mean, it's obviously calibrated for 223, 556. That's what it's intended to be used on. And on that cartridge caliber, you know, it works just fine. I don't have to worry about scope bite or anything like that. But I definitely would not think about putting it on anything that has more recoil than this, because you're definitely going to get scope punch. That said, even though I have to get closer than what I typically do on other scopes, you know, it's perfectly comfortable for me, at least, to hold my face there. You know, the eye box is a little small, like I said, but you get some features with this that you don't with others. And I guess that's what you give up, is your eye box is a little smaller there and eye relief is a little shorter. But she performed really well, and, you know, gets us out there 400 yards, no problem. Crystal clear glass, dual illumination. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. But there you have it. That's the Firefield Barrage 2.5 to 10 rifle scope there with laser, because I think they have different models with and without the laser, and even different magnification ranges and whatnot. But again, link in the description if you want to check it out. If you guys want to get yourself any of the products you see me using in my videos, like my steel target out there, target stand I use, paper targets, shooting bags, safety glasses, earmuffs, way more, links in the description for all that. If you want to see more product reviews, check out my parts, accessories, and optics playlist on the channel. But thanks for stopping by and checking this one out today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you on the next one.